There was once a monk named Sora who lived in a peaceful village nestled between misty hills and old pine forests. He was known far and wide, not just for his wisdom, but also for something rather peculiar. Wherever he went, whether to the temple, the market, or even just a walk through the garden, Sora always carried a small, round mirror tucked into the sleeve of his robe. To the villagers, Sora was a symbol of serenity. Children would run to greet him, elders bowed with respect, and travelers often sought his counsel. But the mirror, the mirror, sparked endless curiosity and whispered speculation. Why did a monk who had renounced all vanity carry an object so closely tied to self-image? None was more perplexed than Kaido, a priest from a neighboring temple. Kaido was younger, proud, and dedicated to preserving the dignity of spiritual life. In his mind, a mirror was a tool of ego, not enlightenment. Does Sora truly understand what it means to let go of worldly concerns? Kaido often wondered aloud. A monk should not be so absorbed in his own reflection. One particularly sunny afternoon, Kaido saw Sora walking alone along a dirt path that wound through the village. The breeze rustled the prayer flags overhead, and the air smelled of incense and plum blossoms. Seizing the moment, Kaido approached him. "Brother Sora," he said, bowing politely but firmly, "I hope you won't take offense, but I must ask, why do you always carry that mirror? You are admired by many for your wisdom. Shouldn't a man of your path be concerned with what lies within, not without?" Sora stopped. His expression, calm as still water, did not change. He reached into his sleeve and pulled out the mirror. It glinted briefly in the sun before he held it out, not for himself, but for Kaido. "Look," Sora said gently. Kaido leaned in, uncertain, and saw only his own reflection. "I don't understand," he muttered. "This mirror," Sora said softly, "is not for vanity. It is for truth." Kaido furrowed his brow. "But all I see is my face." "Exactly," Sora replied. "When I face struggles, when I feel anger, confusion, or sorrow, I take out this mirror, not to inspect the outside, but to remind myself to look inward. It reflects not just my face, but the root of my difficulties. The mirror never lies, Kaido. It always shows me where to begin looking, within." Kaido stood in silence. The reflection stared back at him. Not aged, not flawed, just real, raw, present. Sora continued. "It's easy to point fingers when things go wrong. We blame others, circumstances, even fate. But this mirror reminds me, perhaps the real cause lies in my own thoughts, my own pride, my fears, or the expectations I've placed upon the world. The mirror asks me a simple question. What if the change needs to begin with you?" Kaido looked away, feeling a quiet shift inside. "I've never thought of a mirror that way." Sora smiled. "Most people haven't." In the days that followed, Kaido found himself thinking more and more about that brief moment. He started noticing things he hadn't before, the impatience in his tone when talking to the novices, the pride that crept into his teachings, the discomfort he felt when he was corrected or challenged. And one evening, as the temple courtyard bathed in golden light, Kaido found himself staring into a small hand mirror that he had kept hidden in his quarters for years. He didn't see flaws. He didn't see beauty. He just saw a man, still learning, still growing, still stumbling on the path to peace. Weeks passed. One morning, Kaido returned to the village. He found Sora sitting beneath a plum tree, a cup of tea in hand, eyes half closed as he listened to the wind. "I brought something," Kaido said, kneeling beside him. He pulled out a small round object, a mirror, nearly identical to Sora's. "I still don't fully understand," he admitted, "but I've started to look." Sora opened his eyes and smiled. "That's all it takes," he said. "Not perfection, just honesty, just the willingness to reflect." The villagers soon noticed a quiet change in both monks. Their words carried deeper meaning, their silences more weight, and their friendship, a once unlikely bond, became a living lesson in humility, growth, and the beauty of looking inward. Over time, the story of the monk and the mirror became legend. Parents told it to their children, teachers passed it on to students, and travelers who came to the village often left with more than answers. They left with questions for themselves. Not every monk carries a mirror, but some carry something even more powerful, the courage to truly see themselves. Moral of the story: when life becomes confusing, painful, or unjust, we instinctively look outward for reasons. But the mirror teaches us that sometimes the source of our suffering and the seed of our healing lies within. True wisdom begins not in pointing outward, but in reflecting inward.